The neighborhood started right here, and then we have other cliques in other cities and stuff. So I got jumped in another city. So we have a bigger clique like in Fontana, and then we're in Hollywood, we're in Anaheim and Whittier. And this is still like the heart just for everybody. This is where we're from.
And we're not too far from the old historic Belmont Tunnel.
No, right across the street.
And that's pretty much world known for like hip hop graffiti that goes back to the early 80s.
Right.
You know a little bit about that history?
Yeah. I mean, we would go down there sometimes and watch them. Like some of the people been around, forever. You know what I mean? We would watch them do pieces and stuff. We wouldn't really mess with them too much. If it's a tagger or something, that's one thing. But the ones that are really talented doing like the pieces and stuff, no, we just sit there and watch. I mean, we got to watch history. We didn't know it was history at the time, but yeah, we got to see history, going down. This right here, this is all, like I said, the heart of the neighborhood. It's being somewhat gentrified over the years. You know what I mean? It was a lot worse. It's not that great right now either, but it was a lot worse. This building's right here. We used to hang out on the roofs up there, hang out on the roofs up here, because there's walkways that take you all the way up, and then there's a doorway on the top of these roofs that you could, and we used to just hang out on the roof sometimes, on these stairs right here, but this is pretty much from this area to this. See, we still got carvings and all that stuff in the concrete. They took some of them off. We still got some of them over here on the floor. We've been here a long time. We've been here since the mid-70s, but in the mid-70s we're a football team, and that's how we started. Head Hunters was a football team, and then like in '79 we made the transition into a gang, which a lot of football teams did too at the time. Like,
you guys weren't the only football team.
No,
that
right.
turned to a gang.
Yeah, a lot of people, all those football teams turned into gangs. So in '79 we turned into a gang. We've been here since the mid-70s though. A football team named Head Hunters, yeah, and our color's purple and gold. So my older homeboys, they would wear, purple jerseys, Head Hunters on the back, and we'd play other neighborhoods and everything. And usually, to my understanding, it was for cases of beer. I wasn't even born yet or whatever. And they would play for cases of beer or whatever, and sometimes whoever would lose would want to fight after or whatever. And that's how we ended up becoming a gang. Like, I guess not wanting to pay up a case of beer or something, I don't know. And then, yeah, you got another main landmark is the Bob Barker Theater right here. It's a puppet show that has been here for like 100 years right here in LA. Right across from the Belmont Tunnel, that's still here too. So that's something I want to mention because that's been here a long time. It's a puppet theater that's been here. It's called the Bob Barker, but it's been here forever too. We're the last holdouts. Like, this street has been traditional. The same people that have lived here 30, 40 years are still here, but these two buildings is what's messing everything up, because these are all the hipsters and shit like that. They're moving in here now. I can understand if they're renovating these places, making them better, and then upping the rent. They're not doing that. These were $300, $400, $500 apartments because they're only worth $300, $400, $500, not because of anything else. Now these hipsters are moving in, they're paying, $1,500, $2,000 because they want to feel like they live in the hood or in the ghetto or whatever. And nobody could afford that. So now all the families that have lived here for all these years and decades, they're having to move out. Yeah. And then they're opening up stupid coffee shops and art galleries and shit. Like, we can't afford none, and we can't afford their art, you know what I mean? So, they're building stuff for us, but it's not helping the community. Nobody here is buying their coffee or buying their art, you know what I'm saying? But as far as being respectful and stuff like that, they're still cool. I mean, we don't try to bully them. For one thing, that would work against us, but for another thing, we're not like that. My neighborhood specifically, we're not like that. But we leave them alone, and they kind of leave us alone.
Have you ever just had a conversation with some of these hipsters?
Yeah, well, not me specifically, but a lot of my homies know them real good. So a lot of my homies talk to them real good, Then again, when they were they put an injunction on us maybe 5-6 years ago. The hipsters from this community, from this street, were protesting in front of the courthouse. Believe it or not, and we appreciated that because they didn't have to do that. There's been times where, LAPD's had homeboys, throwing up against the wall, and we actually have video on YouTube. I don't know who put it up because it was shot from one of these windows right here. But all the hipsters came out, leave them alone, and they start yelling. We can't yell at LAPD like that, but they could. Like, LAPD's not gonna beat them up. Their parents are probably senators or some shit. But they defend us. Like, it's weird. Like, they didn't used to let the cops come over here and just beat us up or something. And even now they put the injunction on us, and they were outside with pickets and all, like, you know, they were picketing them, saying to leave us alone. You know what I mean? They were saying, like, we live here and we want them here, so you guys don't even live here. What do you care if they're here for? We don't care if they're here, so why do you care if they're here? And we appreciated that because they didn't have to do that. And because all of them know, I mean, they have their friends show up in Mercedes and stuff like that, go inside their houses, hang out, come back out, and their car's just fine. We're not over here breaking into their car. Like, maybe it's not what they thought it was going to be, and so they don't mind us being here, you know what I mean? I'm sure they don't want us here. I don't think anybody wants us here, but at least it's not related to us. But we're not stereotypical where we're breaking into their cars or just, you know, messing with them at nighttime and stuff like that. So I think that was what brought them to the courthouse too. And really it was only the ones from these streets. It's not like, because all these neighborhoods are all gentrified right now, and we're the only ones that really had that support from our street that came out and was, you know, picketing in front of the courthouse. It was crazy. We have, right here, it's a trip. Every street's a different gang around here. So once you leave our street, you cross the street that way, you're in a gang. You cross the street over, you're in another one, all the way around us. We're surrounded except for by the skyscrapers, you know? We have skyscrapers in front of us, so we're safe right here, but everything around us is all enemies. Nobody gets along.
So you're not an ally with any of these neighborhoods?
No, we don't get along with nobody. Nobody. Headhunters. People just hear that and either feel like, you know, we might as well trip because they're going to trip anyway just because of our name. But we live up to that too. So, you know, we don't get along with nobody.
So when did you decide, I want to become an entrepreneur? And how did that start?
I had a friend of mine that was an artist. And at first we started the clothing line together, you know what I mean? And then he kind of fell back after a while, and then there was 3 of us, and now it's down to 2, but I just, you know, I was into fashion. I had ideas that I wanted to get out there, and this is, you know, one of the shirts, but we have like probably 12 different designs.
Talk about this shirt right here.
When Pigs Fly, with the helicopter on it. We got this one right here. I have a few more in my backpack of different designs, but yeah, we have a website. It's 746 in the streets. On Instagram, I'm 746 Casps, CASPS. But there's a link to my website on my Instagram. And I have a homeboy that does music too, Old Boy the Hunter on Instagram, OHH Boy the Hunter. So he does music, I have the clothing line, and we kind of work together to try to. He's actually with Dipset right now in New York. So he's making his way in the industry too, music-wise. You know what I mean? And like this one, Once Upon a Time in LA. We got that from Once Upon a Time in America. You remember that movie with Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
So we flipped that to Once Upon a Time in LA. We got that one. This one, Full-Time Struggle, Overtime Hustle. That's kind of like our full-time struggle, overtime hustle.
Hold it up.
That's like our, kind of like our brand. That's what we live by. Full-time struggle, overtime hustle. This one right here, this one is my design. I don't know if a lot of people are gonna get it, but NWO, the world's most dangerous group, instead of NWA.
And who's on the shirt?
That's Rockefeller. That's Prescott Bush, which is George Bush's grandfather. Rothschild, Jacob Rothschild, Kissinger, Henry Kissinger, and Harriman. So to me, that's like saying, they're saying NWA is the world's most dangerous group, and to me, I'm saying like, no, this is the world's most dangerous group. Like this, because this is the new, you know, the architects more of the New World Order. So these are very powerful people right here. So some people get it and they're like, man, that's pretty deep. And some people, it goes over their heads, you know, like they don't necessarily get it.
So we're basically talking about gangsters in suits.
Yeah, exactly. I was working construction for years and making $8 an hour, $9 an hour. And I wanted more, you know what I mean? I can't raise 2 kids on that. I had a mortgage to pay, car payments to pay, you know, we don't have rent, we have a mortgage. So, you know, my baby's mom, she makes really good money too, but I wanted something more, so that's what I'm doing now, is trying to start this clothing line. If it takes off, that's huge. If it doesn't, I at least, you know, put my all into it, you know what I mean? And if not, it's back to the construction yard or whatever. That's what I was working for years, you know, when I got out. I was out for 2 days this time, and I was working after 2 days. So I didn't spend no time just, oh, I've been busted a while, I'm gonna party a little bit and then get my shit together. Nah, I got out, I started working as soon as I got out this time. This is all new. That's that puppet theater right there. But oh yeah, this right here, this over here, that billboard right there. That now they finally put something up there. And then this alley all right here. This is where we hang out at mostly. We don't get messed with really right here.
So we're kind of standing in front of the old Belmont Tunnel.
Yeah.
Right across the street.
Right across the street.
Yeah.
This is, that was nothing right there. Those were just a couple houses right there, and that was the tunnel right there, man, Belmont Tunnel.
So let's talk briefly about this whole idea that, you know, a Latino doing an interview. There's some myths that you can never do an interview, but you obviously, all the homies is around here, they're not tripping.
Nah, I mean, maybe some people tell their homeboys that maybe it's the wrong person representing their neighborhood. Like, why are you speaking for us? Where with me, it would never be that. But that's the only thing I could think, because I'll talk about myself all I want to. That's my life. Who's gonna, you know, how you gonna tell me I can't talk about my life? And then this is my neighborhood, so how am I not gonna be able to talk about this? My neighborhood right here. So I'll talk about my neighborhood all I want to. I'll talk about myself all I want to. I just won't talk about anyone else.
Thanks for watching StreetGangs.com. Please like and share the video you just watched and leave a comment below to tell us what you think. You can also watch 2 of our previous episodes to the right. Please visit the link to our Patreon page and support our campaign. And don't forget to subscribe.